So, you want to be a web developer in 2026? You've probably seen 100 different roadmaps, right? Well, here's the thing. Most of them are already completely out of date. The entire game has changed. Okay, let's just cut through the noise. This is your no-nonsense guide to becoming an AI-powered developer, starting today.
First things first, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about the elephant in the room. You see AI writing code and you're probably thinking, am I about to lose my job before I even get it? The short answer? No, but your role is absolutely changing. AI isn't here to replace you. It's here to be your co-pilot, to make you 10 times faster, 10 times more effective. The new reality is, you just can't afford to ignore it.
And this number is exactly why. By 2026, a staggering 85% of developers are going to be using AI tools every single day. Look, this isn't some far-off future trend. This is the new standard. It's happening right now. The question is no longer if you'll use AI, it's all about how you're going to use it to get ahead.
So, that brings us to this really crucial shift in how you need to think. Your role is evolving. You're not just a coder anymore, someone who just types out lines of code. Nope. You are becoming an AI pilot. You're the commander who directs these incredibly powerful tools to build amazing things, way faster and way smarter than was ever possible before.
I love this quote because it just perfectly frames the new job description. Think about it. A passive code typist? Yeah, that can be automated. But an AI pilot? Someone who makes the smart architectural calls and the big creative decisions, that person is absolutely irreplaceable. That's the goal. That's who you want to be.
But hey, before you can pilot anything, you gotta know how the machine actually works, right? These AI tools are amazing assistants, but they do not, I repeat, do not replace fundamental skills. You just cannot skip the basics. So this is where our journey really begins. Let's think of a website like a car. It's a great analogy. HTML, that's the skeleton, the body, the chassis, the basic structure. CSS, that's the paint job, the rims, the interior. It's all the styling that makes it look good. And JavaScript, well, JavaScript is the engine. It's what makes the car go. It adds all the interactivity and logic. You have to master these three. No way around it.
And when it comes to CSS, you gotta focus on what actually matters today. You need to be an absolute pro with Flexbox and Grid for laying out your pages. And hear me on this, always, always, always use a mobile-first approach. You design for the phone screen first, and then you scale up to the desktop. It's not just a nice idea, it's essential.
Now, as you're learning all this, please don't fall into the perfection trap. It will kill your momentum. The 70% rule is your new best friend. Seriously, get a solid 70% grasp on a topic and then move on. You'll pick up the rest by actually building things. The whole key is to move fast and build that forward momentum. All right, foundation is in place. You're feeling good. Now it's time to build the stuff users actually see and interact with. Modern, dynamic front ends. Let's look at the stack that builds on top of those core skills.
For 2026, this is pretty much your go-to front-end toolkit. React is still king for building user interfaces, and you can forget old frameworks like Bootstrap. The entire industry has shifted to Tailwind CSS because it's just so much more flexible. And we build all of this on top of Next.js, which is the undisputed champion for building real production-ready React apps. Oh, and you see TypeScript on this list? We're going to talk about why that's so critical in just a second.
Let me be crystal clear about this. If you're writing JavaScript in 2026, you should just be writing TypeScript. It is non-negotiable. Why? Two huge reasons. First, it adds type safety, which basically means way fewer bugs and code that's easier to maintain. And second, and this is the AI connection, it helps your AI coding assistants write much better, more reliable code for you. It's a total win-win.
Okay, let's head behind the curtain, the back end. This is the brain of your application. It's where all the serious business logic lives, where you connect to your databases, and where you handle all the important stuff like user accounts.
This image does a brilliant job of showing the two main ways you can structure that brain. On one hand, you have a monolith, where your entire app is one big single unit. On the other, you have microservices, where you break it down into a bunch of smaller, independent services that talk to each other. A lot of modern AI apps use this microservices approach because it gives them so much flexibility. You can ship a new AI feature as its own little service without messing with anything else. So every backend needs a place to store its data. And you've got two main flavors to choose from. SQL databases like PostgreSQL are fantastic for structured data, where you need things to be super consistent. Think bank transactions. Then you have no SQL databases like MongoDB, which are way more flexible. They're awesome for getting a project up and running quickly and for handling data that doesn't fit neatly into tables. You really do need to understand both.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Once you have your full-stack application humming along, you can add the intelligence layer. This is how you transform a standard web app into a truly AI-powered product.
The number one pattern you have to know is called RAG. That's Retrieval Augmented Generation. In super simple terms, RAG is how you give a big AI model, like GPT-4, access to your own private information. So instead of only knowing about stuff from the public internet, it can suddenly answer specific questions using your company's documents or your personal notes.
Now, this might look a little complicated, but it's actually a pretty straightforward flow. A user asks a question. Your system turns that question into a string of numbers. That's called an embedding. Then it uses those numbers to search a special kind of database, a vector database, to find the most relevant pieces of your private data. Finally, you bundle that relevant data up with the original question, hand it all over to the AI, and it generates a super smart, context-aware answer.
Look, the absolute best way to learn this stuff is to just build. Start with an AI document chatbot. It's the perfect RAG project. From there, maybe you build an AI-powered SaaS app with user subscriptions, or an AI code assistant, or a semantic search engine. These are the kinds of projects that will make any potential employer sit up and take notice.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Following this roadmap, it isn't just about learning a list of technologies. It's about fundamentally adopting a new mindset for a completely new era of building things for the web. This right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. Your value is no longer measured by how fast you can type out boilerplate code. Not anymore. Your value is in your strategic thinking. You are the architect. You design the user experience, you define the goals, you let the AI handle the grunt work while you make the smart decisions.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. The barrier to creating something new has never, ever been lower. The tools we have at our fingertips have never been more powerful. The question isn't if the code will get written anymore. AI can do that. The real question is, what will you, as the creator, as the architect, as the AI pilot, what will you choose to build? What amazing problems are you going to solve?